Entertainment Soldier here, and I'm back to talk about Halo Season 2, Episode 5, and my thoughts on this episode. Completely disappointed. I mean, really? Really? So, let me get this straight. One episode focused on the fall of Reach. One episode. I mean, are the people writing this, directing this, in charge of this, understand how much story you could have done with the fall of Reach? Like, if you've read the books, if you've played the game, and yes, people, because apparently there's some people out there who think you shouldn't focus on the games when you're watching the Halo series. I mean, are you all fucking morons? They didn't have to make Halo. They could have made some generic sci-fi show that had armored soldiers, but they decided to, do Halo. So guess what, motherfuckers? I am going to bring up the games. I am going to bring up the books, because that is a part of the fucking franchise and was 100 times better story than what this shit is. One episode on the fall of Reach. You are fucking joking me. This episode goes back to the same bullshit from the last two episodes. The Chief is having emotional and stupid fucking issues. I'm fucking hell. It's like you were on a winning streak here. The last episode wasn't that bad. There were problems, but it wasn't that bad. This episode, we're back to every fucking problem from the first couple of episodes. Too much emotion, too much drama, not enough fight scenes, not enough sci-fi, for God's sake. Why am I watching an episode where we seem to be trying to find somebody's kid? Why am I watching an episode where a Spartan is having fucking emotional issues? It's just, why? Why are we focused on this ridiculous crap with the Halo show? This is why you don't hire soap opera writers to write sci-fi, because they don't know what they're doing. This is not how you write a Halo show. You do not waste people's fucking time with somebody's fucking issues. Okay? This episode should have been focused completely on the survivors of Reach. The Chief trying to get them off planets, fighting off the Covenant. You could have done an entire season on the fall of Reach. You do one episode though. This is garbage. Complete and utter garbage. And I'm annoyed at myself for believing that this show could have actually kept it going. I genuinely thought maybe they've done a U-turn. Maybe we're actually going to get smarter, more Halo-focused episodes. Absolutely not. We have just gone completely downhill. And I'm fucking annoyed. God, this franchise is just not complicated. Okay? And I'm going to say this again, because it needs to be said. You had an entire fucking blueprint from the books. An entire blueprint from the games. There's so much story within all of Halo you could have just copied and fucking paste. You didn't even have to try with the Halo series. Yet these idiots are just determined to write in this crap, emotionally boring story and bring in new characters that nobody likes. How the fuck did they think this was going to work? This episode is such a mistake. This show is such a mistake. I mean, anybody thinking after this episode this is going to get a season 3, you are deluded. You are fucking deluded. This was a terrible episode. It was a complete waste of time watching it. I am shocked it's gone that badly after the last episode. Just absolutely shocked. But let's get into spoilers now. God, no, I gotta do my rating. It's a 1 out of 10. Nothing in this episode. Wasted time, boring scenes, characters leaving that makes literally little sense. Maybe to a certain point, but overall, it really doesn't matter. And I think, but we're getting to that into the spoiler section, but a 1 out of 10. Absolutely pissed off. Let's get to the spoilers now. If you don't want to hear spoilers, leave in 3, 2, 1. So the episode starts off with Jon waking up after his fight with the Arbiter and him being knocked unconscious, and the Covenant still on the attack in the base. Sauron and what's her name? Riz are holding off the Covenant, killing them and all that shit. And the chief is just looking at the direction of the body of Vanek, I think it is. And, you know, still kind of dealing with the fact his friend is dead. But they're able to hold off the Covenant, and then a massive brute comes down to, you know, try to finish them off. But they manage to kill the brute. And then Sauron's wife appears with a ship. They then evacuate on that ship, and before they leave, Riz runs off to grab the body of Vanek, and while she's grabbing the body, she gets injured. Fro runs back to the ship, gets injured again, and seriously this time, but she gets Vanek's body off onto the ship, and they then race off the planet. And yeah, that's the end of the Fall of Reach. That is not a joke. That's it. 1 episode and about 5 seconds. And yeah, the story of the Fall of Reach, done. Oh my god. I just don't get it. Like, the Reach story, you could have done an entire season on. It's not that difficult. It's really not that difficult. But you decide to do an episode and 5 minutes. I've been wow. Fucking wow. Oh, fuck it. Let's just keep going. So, whilst they're on this pirate ship, or whatever it's called, Halsey checks on the chief and Riz. Both are severely injured, but Riz is worse off because she has other issues too. They escape the planet, get to this new planet where Halsey... Oh no, we don't get there yet. Now the next scene is we go to the Covenant, where the human Covenant woman is talking to the Arbiter. Again, the Arbiter is wearing the wrong uniform. It should be silver, not blue. Still don't understand why they changed that. I don't get it. Like, why did you change that? It's a small detail. Why would you just keep it the same? Silver armor is a fucking Arbiter. Blue armor is just a regular fucking, elite. But fine. Oh, I would like to also mention the Paramount app seems to be completely shit when it comes to subtitles, because in this entire scene the subtitles were way out of order. And I mean, like, you had to wait like a couple of minutes for the subtitle to come up. That's not how it usually goes. I don't know whether it's to do with my app or this is a constant on all Paramount's apps. But yeah, that's a stupid problem. I shouldn't have to wait a couple of minutes to read the entire conversation because it was just that slow. Bloody hell. Anyway, so she's talking to the Arbiter, trying to explain to him why it was important to let the chief live, which again is still confusing because why would you not just kill the chief? Like, he's a demon to you. You hate him. By the way, the demon, that still doesn't make sense to me. Like, he didn't get that name until Halo 2 because he blew up the fucking ring. Oh God, it just doesn't make sense why he's such a major figure to the Covenant yet, when he hasn't done that much. Killing a couple of Covenant people, that doesn't get you that sort of status. Blowing up a ring does. But anyway, so they're arguing with each other about, the fall of Reach, about, how they should have killed the chief and how they should have focused on, getting on with the mission of killing the humans and everything. But she says what their main focus should be is to find Halo and the Cortana program that they have stolen is going to lead them to it. But the Covenant, the Arbiter is not really convinced and is still massively angry that he didn't get to kill the Chief. Back with the Chief on the ship, he wakes up from his coma, because he was put in a coma, and Halsey tells him about, the fact he was in a coma and the fact Reach has fallen. Again, 1 episode, 5 minutes, the fall of Reach. Absolute dog shit. Oh my god. Yeah, so Chief's not really dealing with this well. All the people that are probably dead, the fact they didn't put up much of a fight, the fact the Covenant took the planet in about a day. Fucking hell. Why bother? Like, in the trailers, they were majorly focused on showing you that this series would focus on Reach. And if somebody tells me that's bullshit, watch the fucking trailers. That trailer was showing you it was going to be a war season. It was going to be the fall of Reach. Don't fucking bullshit me and say it wasn't, because it fucking was. And this is absolute dog shit. Let's not go into this anymore. But anyway, so yeah, Chief's dealing with the fact Reach has fallen, and it was his home, and it was the home of all Spartans and whatever. And now he's just very angry of the fact that he's lost his friend, which he isn't really dealing with well, since he keeps refusing to see the body, and he doesn't consider that body his friend. His friend is gone. I do kind of get that from a military perspective, don't get so attached, kind of move on. I get that. And again, if this was real Master Chief, what you could have done was just have a scene of the Master Chief in his uniform staring down at his body. And again, I would say that's more of an emotional impact because, that armor does show emotion. Again, it's the way you portray the character, it's the way you direct the character that matters. Shoving his fucking face out there, it's not that important. But anyway, so whilst they're on the ship, the Chief asked about Riz, and Halsey says she can't really do much for her until they get to a better medical facility. All she can do on the ship is stabilise Riz and, keep her alive, basically. Whilst all this is going on, Sauron and his wife are kind of dealing with the fact they've lost their son, and they need to go out and look for him. Again, it's only been a week, but okay. I do get it that a week is very important, but why are we focused on this? Like, the entire storyline of abandoning her son is still ridiculous to me. Like, you didn't need to do that. You put him on a ship on his own. This is your fault. But you're acting like the major problem was the fact Sauron was fucking caught. It's like, that's not the big issue here, love. You abandoned your son on that ship. You could have... Oh, God. Anyway, so, yeah. They need to look for their son. So, they head off to a planet. I think it's a refugee planet. I don't fucking know. Those red people are there. So, they get there. Halsey gets Riz to an emergency operating room where she's going to operate on her and keep her alive. The Chief is kind of still dealing with the fact that Reach has fallen, and Sauron and his wife head off to search for their kid. After the operation, Halsey has a conversation with Riz and pretty much informs Riz, yeah, you're pretty much out as a Spartan because you were already struggling back on Reach. This injury has pretty much made it worse, and if you are still a Spartan, you're going to have to work 10 times harder as a regular Spartan just to keep up. So, pretty much being told, yeah, you're done being a Spartan. She kind of doesn't really know really doesn't kind of know how to deal with this at first. So for most of the episode, she just looks depressed, and it pretty much all she's pretty much doing is just considering her options. At this same time, you're seeing the chief and the Asian chick. I don't fucking know her name, and the Asian chick is not is trying to deal with the burial of Vanek, and she wants to kind of bury him because she feels like burying him may also be a kind of, well, emotional clarity for her because of the fact she has not been able to bury any of her dead relatives or loved ones. So she wants to bury this guy to kind of fill in that gap in her life, kind of be like a solidarity to her family. But she's very annoyed at John because John seems to be washing his hands of the situation. He doesn't seem to care. But what, she doesn't understand is just John is just not able to deal with this right now. A lot of shit's happened to him and he just wants to move on. You can kind of get it, but again, oh jeez, you could have just written a better story here. You could have. I mean, if you're gonna have Reach be destroyed in one episode, fine, but to have an episode just focused on nothing but the chief bitching again, Halsey trying to convince everybody that they're a good Spartan or something else. Oh god. But anyway, so yeah, she wants to bury the guy. The chief doesn't really care, and that's it. We go back to the Covenant, where the human Covenant woman is talking to Cortana and asking Cortana about John, asking about his memories, asking can Cortana help them locate Halo, and talking in the Covenant language to Cortana. Cortana can also talk the language back, and that's it. Back on with Sauron. They go looking for their son. They find this couple that have a boy that they got from one of the refugee ships. Apparently the kid's the same age as their kid, so they think it's their son. They won't hand over. When they get there, they ask to get their son back, but the couple refuses because they don't trust them. They think they're bad parents. This is confusing to me, since if that's your kid, that's your kid. They have no right to have any say in the matter, especially when the kid's only been with them for a week. I mean, that's pretty fucking stupid. Like, this entire fucking thing with Sauron and his wife is pretty fucking boring and ridiculous. Like, they lose their kid. Yeah, go after the guy. We go find him. That's great. Fantastic. Whatever. But this crap with these two women about refusing to hand over their son. If that was my son, guess what? I wouldn't let two bitches get in the way. That's my kid. And Sauron just acting so nonchalant about it. It was ridiculous. What it should have been, he marches through, grabs his son, and then they find out it's not their son. Because that's what happens. Yeah, they find out it's not their son. The helmet was given to some other kid by their son to keep him safe. The kid then tells the mother, yeah, your son was kidnapped by somebody. So Sauron and his wife go off to find out who's kidnapped their son. They go to the shopkeeper on the planet, the one shopkeeper that seems to be on the planet, and the wife threatens him with a beating, and he just tells them, the UNFC SC were the ones that kidnapped your son. So it looks like they're trying to create more Spartans with children again, because that's kind of blatantly what they're doing now, isn't it? For the rest of the episode, it's just the chief and the Asian woman dealing with Vanek. It's, burial. The Asian woman buries him, then everybody surrounds the pit and they bury him. She then has some emotional breakdown in her head where she gets told that she needs to, she's being told by the planets that she needs to protect them. I have no idea who this woman is. I really don't. I didn't watch that much of season 1. Is she supposed to be some sort of special thing? Am I remembering it right? But isn't the chief and her some sort of, Forerunner connection shit? Because Halsey also mentions the Forerunner stuff, like John's attached to them in some way. Okay, I mean, you didn't really need that in the games, but fine. But the humans were connected to the Forerunners. I'm not going into that. But anyway, so, yeah, they bury Vanek, and, Halsey tries to give a speech about him being a great soldier, but John steps in and says, yeah, he got buried when he was 6 because he was kidnapped, and his family didn't know him, but he did. So the chief finally, is able to say goodbye to his friend, and, he gets some closure on that. The last couple of scenes are basically, we go back to the Covenant, where the Covenant human woman is trying to convince the Arbiter to move his fleet with her, like, abandon the prophets. The prophets are not the chosen ones. We're the chosen ones. You're the special person who's going to find Halo and start us on the great journey. So the Arbiter doesn't really believe her, is getting angry, and then I think Cortana brings up an image of Halo, and this convinces the Arbiter to turn on the prophets, which is kind of ridiculous because the Arbiter is supposed to be the most loyal soldier for the prophets, that's the whole reason for him. But she's able to turn him by showing a picture. Generally, just a picture of Halo. Okay? Which works, by the way, because he turns his ship away from, the Covenant's space planet thing. And he also mentions to her that if she does this, they will send the entire Covenant fleet after them to chase them down. But she says, don't worry about it, we'll deal with it later. And that's how her part of this episode ends, with the Arbiter turning on the prophets and them going straight after Halo. And the final scene for John and the rest of the cast is John telling Riz that they're going to get ready to attack Oni, because Oni are the people who are responsible for the death of Vanek and the fall of Reach. So he wants to get even. He wants to hunt down Athelstan and everything. And so he tells Riz to get ready, but Riz tells him, I'm done. She's done. She's quitting being a Spartan. She's going to focus on just being a human being. And it's kind of a smart decision. She has pretty much been told she's going to have to work harder just to be, keeping up with other Spartans. So of course she's done. John doesn't take this well because he's already lost one friend and he doesn't want to lose another. And reluctantly accepts this because she tells him she can't cope. She has to stop, or she's gonna end up dying. And so John reluctantly accepts the facts on the ground and gives her a hug, and he says goodbye, basically. And it ends with Halsey taking her dog tags and saying basically good luck. I kind of get what they're doing here. They're getting rid of John's team, so when he gets on the Halo ring, he's on his own. I mean, I don't know why you didn't just start with the Halo. It's just dumb, okay? I get it. They want to have the, John in his own arc, because that's apparently listening to criticism of what the fans have told them. Yes, but you didn't have to do it this clumsily, okay? You could have had Riz kind of leaving for different reasons other than just because she's not strong enough. I mean, fine, whatever. But yeah, it just seems like a really sloppy, boring way to get to the Chief on his own. Like, Riz is still capable. They've literally just been defeated by the Covenant. So this is the time to quit. This is the time to quit. When the Covenant are fucking kicking your ass. And just stay on some random planet. Random planet that you just got here. Why not find out if you could go back to Earth? Or you could go to another colony. Why stay on this exact planet? I don't get it. Oh, fucking hell. But yeah, so that's how the episode ends. Oh no, that's not how the episode ends. It ends with Kate, the other Spartan. We find out she is with Odie and she is training the next generation of Spartans. And that's how the episode ends. Again, a boring episode. How we didn't get at least 2 episodes about the fall of Reach, I will never know. How can you be this incompetent? This episode was bad. It was boring. And it just feels like this show is just such a waste of time. You hired the wrong writers. The wrong people in charge of this show. This is just bad. It's just bad now. And I really, really, really doubt this is going to get a 3rd season. It's ridiculous. They even got a 2nd season. But that's what we do nowadays. We try to, take a franchise that has a fan base for fucking years, change everything about the fucking show, and then tell the fans, just accept this new shit. That's never going to work. And if what you're going to replace the old fantastic stuff is with this new shit stuff, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. This was a massively missed opportunity. And I am just gutted we didn't get a decent Fall of Reach arc. And that's the end of my review. If you like this review, give it a like. If you dislike this review, give it a dislike. And if you like my content, do think of subscribing. And if you have a comment, leave it below and I'll try to get back to it. Entertainment World Soldier, bye.